Blue Lock Chapter 309 is officially out, and it gives us way more context on the state of Japan's future. From some unexpected returns to what could be the start of a battle masterclass, we have a lot to talk about in today's video. If you enjoy the content I push out, or just want to stay updated on everything Blue Lock, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below with any video ideas you'd like to see next. And while you're down there, feel free to join my Discord, as it's the perfect place to talk Blue Lock and stay updated with the channel. I hope you all have an amazing day, and with that said, enjoy today's chapter. Sorry for my voice, I am still sick, but I do think I'm getting better, so there's that. Yippee. We opened up with a beautiful sunset rising over the train tracks in Japan, and I gotta say, the Blue Lock sunsets healed me. Chapters like this, or Itoshiren's backstory, really give the artist a medium to just flex for no reason, and I'm always here for it. But while the sky's looking peaceful, the internet's doing the exact opposite. Social media is blowing up over what they're calling Japan's death bracket. Basically, the whole world sees this as a trial for Blue Lock Japan to prove themselves, and even Twitter's chiming in with their usual chaos. Now, some of the usernames showing up here might actually be hints for the scores in the upcoming match, or maybe I'm reaching. You tell me. Legendary Chop could easily be Bado with his Chop triple spam, a regular hero definitely gives wildcard Kunigami energy, and Zymosis with the biology PFP, yeah, that's a Shida Ryuze fan if I've ever seen one. But the thing that stands out to me here is a tweet about Bado. One of his fans post, "Bado will figure something out, not that I'd know," and I'm sorry, but that's a self-insert from the author if I've ever seen one. Is this finally the era of positive character growth for Bado? No more crossbars or temper tantrums? Jokes aside, page 2 shifts us over to the perspective of Isagi Yoichi, who's calmly lacing up his shoes with just one thought running through his head: become the best in the entire world. Even after coming face to face with U20 threats like Bunny Iglesias or Michael Kaiser, or witnessing the power of Noel Noah firsthand, Isagi is not shaken. No matter who stands in his way, he's decided to take them all down. Before he heads out, his parents show up to wish him farewell. It's a little sweet moment as they tell him to take care and do his best. His dad then slips in a little reminder for him not to catch a cold, and I pray that this is not foreshadowing. Do not give Isagi the Hinata treatment from Haiku and have him overworked to the point of collapsing before a major match. I will literally cry. He finally steps out of the front door, flashing one last smile back at his parents and promising he'll be back before they know it. There's this quiet confidence about him now, as he doesn't just want to participate, but win above all. He says straight up, every single one of them in Blue Lock is a challenger aiming to become the world's best, and he's determined to come home as the one who actually pulls it off. And just like that, we get another countdown. There are 30 days left into the U20 World Cup. The chapter then jumps ahead to all the buses pulling up and dropping the players off at the facility. I immediately have a huge smile on my face as we see Isagi and Bachara stepping off last. The two reunite right away, and Bachara greets him with a big wave while asking if he's gotten taller. Isagi just laughs it off, reminding him that it's only been like 2 weeks, but let's be real, Bachara does not understand the concept of time. Out of nowhere, Rin walks up behind the two of them and immediately calls them tepid, and without skipping a beat, he follows up by saying, well, I've actually measured myself and grown a whole centimeter, and I need to pause here, because this is exactly why Rin is the biggest nerd in Blue Lock. He tries so hard to keep up that cold emo front, but deep down, this man is just a competitive dork. Even Isagi looks at him like, what are you trying to prove right now? Before things can get more awkward, Bachara peeks out from behind Isagi with the cheekiest grin and asks if Rin's fishing for compliments. Bachara starts chopping at the air like some kind of gremlin, proudly declaring that the tongue boy hit a growth spurt, and finally, they head into the building. As the three make their way into the Blue Lock Central Room, the fun atmosphere shifts to locked in, as all eyes are on them. The rest of the 20 egoists are already inside, and they're side-eyeing the trio like they just walked into an Elden Ring boss room. Bachara tries to say hello, but the tension is clearly centered on the two walking side by side. Isagi Yoichi and Itoshiren, the double aces of Blue Lock. You know you have hella aura when everyone in the room turns at your arrival, but I mean, just look at this panel. These two know damn well that they're like that. But before anyone can speak up or break the silence, we hear one more set of footsteps entering the room. It's none other than the coach himself, Igo Jinpachi, who greets everyone and congratulates them on their work during the last 2 weeks of solo training. Pushing up his glasses, he says firmly that they're no longer the same egoists they were before. As they all stand there at attention, he goes on to give a tough-ass speech to make them realize the depth of their change. You've acquired various new weapons, and their new combinations will be the lifeline to victory. The history of your victories, your bonds, any crass idea of doing things for the sake of Blue Lock. Throw it all away. One of the flashbacks put there does stick out to me, as it was Itoshiren's solo run against Bastion Munich. If the meditation truly helped and Rin plays without his fixation on Sai, Isagi, or anything else, Japan might actually win the U20 World Cup by a long shot. Just imagine him doing this to France for the only goal. Anyways, Igo then spreads out his arms and says straight up that he would use them all however he wants to achieve his dream. But with those ego-filled eyes, he also wishes the same for them and tells these egoists to use him too to reach their own goals. It's wild because as much as I hate to praise him, Batatura was exactly exactly right when he told Nagi Seishiro that Ego would just use him as a stepping stone, so Nagi should do the same and take the offer. Anyways, Ego then continues on. Right now, you're shouldering the hopes of Japanese soccer, but what of it? Don't make this moment the peak of your life. Don't be someone who just lives on the foundation of this memory. Transcend all of those egos and go forth. Spreading out his arms with the hologram screen shifting behind him, Ego announces the order of their upcoming group matches. It's pretty predictable, which is a letdown for me, but they'll be facing Nigeria first, last year's champions from Africa. Then they'll go up against the world's top-ranked team, France, and finally take on England in the last match. If you're curious about my thoughts on the goal scorers and how I think each match will go, make sure to check out that video dropping tomorrow at 10 AM Central Time. Ego finishes by telling them all to place their trust in him, as he's about to push them through even more special training that will lead them to victory. In the next 30 days before the U20 World Cup begins, Ego vows to reshape them into a brand new egotistical team like the world has never seen. The panel focuses on the top egoists, specifically highlighting most of the top 6 from the NEL. Interestingly, Kunigami gets a decent amount of attention here too, so hopefully he can put on a strong performance despite finishing 8th in the NEL and pocketing Shido the entire match. Also, Isagi Yoichi is Ego's son. I don't care what anyone says, just look at those identical twisted smiles. On that note, the chapter cuts over to Nagi Seishiro, once again chilling in the arcade playing Starfighter G. His character is on screen screaming with intensity, vowing for more blood. Meanwhile, Nagi's just sitting there with a blank, zoned out stare. He seems completely lost in thought, still thinking about Baratsuda's altar and whether or not he made the right call. But in the end, he stands by that decision. Accepting that deal would have made him a servant, a pawn used to make someone else money. That would not be his ego, and for him, betraying Blue Lock and becoming a villain is just not worth it for football. With a flashback to his last moment with Isagi where he told him to not stop playing the sport, something seems to click in his mind. He starts mashing the arcade buttons harder and says quietly but firmly that he still wants to play. We then see that he still has a 24 million yen contract with Manchester City, and he remembers that there's still a path forward, a way for him to keep playing and go pro without throwing away everything he believes in. As he imagines himself standing in front of a roaring crowd in an English stadium, there's a sense of relief. Even if he doesn't represent Japan, he could still go pro. He could still chase the dream of becoming the best in the world. But as he thinks back on all his highs and lows from Blue Lock, that relief starts to fade. He starts to wonder, would that really be enough for him? Why is he still stuck here, frozen in place, unable to decide what comes next? With an incredible double spread showing his true ego manifestation once again, aura blazing in his eyes, Nagi starts getting real introspective. He questions what actually fires him up. Is it football itself, or specifically football and Blue Lock? He wonders what his individuality and ego were screaming for right now. This was my face turning the page and seeing this, and here's how it shifted after I turned the page once more. Why is he back? Nagi feels a pair of fingers tap the back of his head, and when he turns around, neither me nor Nagi could believe our eyes. Igarashi just showed up out of nowhere and casually tells Nagi he's been looking everywhere for him. Now look, that alone was already wild, just seeing this man return out of thin air, but here's what really threw me off. He's flooding the entire arcade. Bro seriously pulled up with the craziest fit imaginable. I don't know when Igarashi got drip, but he's got that on now. He's full on firing finger guns at Nagi like he owns the place, and with that absolutely chaotic entrance, the chapter ends on one of the wildest twists I've seen in a while. I 100% did not expect for this guy to come back, especially so soon, but I guess anything can happen in the story now. It does make me feel like we're losing a bit of the risk factor of losing characters, but let me know your thoughts. Does Blue Lock feel like it lacks stakes now? With that being the end of chapter 309, the upcoming chapter 310 will come without break, titled Just Give Up. This chapter is full of foreshadowing that Nagi and Igarashi might be making their return to the Baratsuda 3 wildcard spots, and it seems clear that Nagi needs to use Blue Lock to move forward. Maybe Baratsuda even offered Igarashi a place on the team if he could convince Nagi to accept the offer. In my opinion, Ego's words laid out the only real option. Since I'm using you to achieve my dreams, you should do the same for me. Once again, I just want to thank you all so much for the incredible support you've been showing me. I'm sorry I'm sick and sound messed up. I'm just feeling really locked in and still ready to grind out content. Be sure to look out for tomorrow's video dropping at 10 AM Central Time. Don't forget. As always, if you want to show some love, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and check out my community Discord in the description. Now go be productive, do something for yourself today, and have an amazing one.